How to stop being the nice guy and be the hot guy. The phrase nice guy does not exactly evoke a feeling of excitement from women and is undoubtedly a derogatory term for men in general. So, what is it exactly about the nice guy that women don't seem to want and that would make men cringe just at the thought of being labeled as one? And what can men do to avoid being that guy? Before you think that all women are attracted to alpha males, which for some reason are stereotyped as jerks or a-holes, and that the only way for you to attract women is to become a jerk yourself, then that is a misguided understanding of actually what draws women to men. In the case of mating and attraction, we always have to get to the root of what people really want. And what women really want are good men. And yes, there is a stark difference between a good man and a nice guy, because the good man appeals to women, whereas the nice guy repels them. Contrary to popular belief, not all women are attracted to alpha males. There are actually quite a lot who are attracted to beta males as well. There are positive and negative to both. But these classifications are immaterial if these men are not providing for what women are actually innately desiring. And what do women innately desire, despite all the categorizations that psychology could come up with? Well, it's good men. It's a good man. Again, I refer to the good man. But before we understand the deep yearning for a good man, let's first examine the character traits of the nice guy and why women are repelled by nice guys before we contrast him with the good man that women want. The nice guy. Although it would seem that the word nice would automatically make it a good term, this is not the case. Rather, the word has a bad connotation in general. The nice guy isn't really all that nice. He lacks confidence, so he merely pretends to be agreeable to attract attention from others. The truth is, there is nothing authentic about the nice guy because he lacks much self-identity. And when a guy doesn't know who he is and has no good foundation of himself as a person, he becomes utterly desperate to please just so he can be accepted. So how then can a woman be attracted to a man who's not even attracted to himself? It is therefore safe to conclude that the opposite of the nice guy is not the jerk, but is a good man. The good man. True trustworthiness is embodied in the good man because his identity is deeply rooted in his principles. He truly believes in himself, and as a result, his confidence radiates. He gives more than he expects, therefore he is not dependent on others' approval. Giving and caring is a way of life for him, and he's driven by the truth of treating others as he would like to be treated, regardless if they can do something for him or not. People from all walks of life are drawn to the good man, because his authenticity coupled with his confidence are a potent mixture of admirable qualities. The good man is certainly not a perfect man, for no one is, nor does he strive to be. The good man is a good man because he tries to live a life worth living. Good man versus nice guy. Number 1, confident versus insecure. A good man is confident in himself and does not need validation from others that he is a great man, especially not from women, which is why he doesn't disparage or criticize others in order to make himself look better. He genuinely loves himself and genuinely loves others. He views acceptance and rejection in the same way and understands that you must learn from both if you want to advance in life. On the other hand, a nice guy only puffs himself up, but also puts others down. because he lacks self-confidence and is constantly trying to please women so that he feels validated of his worth. When he's turned down, he becomes anxious, worrying that he's not good enough and needing acceptance to feel better about himself. The nice guy says negative things about the person that rejected him in order to boost his bruised ego. Number 2, selfless versus selfish. Because his kindness originates from his heart, a good man does good things as a way of life and continues to do amazing things when no one is looking. He gives out the goodness in his heart and expects nothing in return. A nice guy gives the expectation of receiving in exchange for his so-called charity and maintains his public image in order to increase attractiveness, but shows his true colors in the dark. Number 3, leader versus follower. A good man leads in the right direction and not follow in the wrong one. He is well aware that leading with integrity means working as a team in a spirit of respect and service to others. He embraces his masculinity and gently steers the relationship in the direction of love and success. A nice guy follows whatever wind blows his way. He has no backbone and is readily misled by those whose approval he so badly seeks. Because he adopts the personas of the people he admires, his opinions on anything shift so frequently that you hardly know who he really is. He is denied the respect and dignity given to a leader because he is a follower, blindly following anyone and anything. Number 4, strong versus weak. A good man compels respect because of his honorable traits. He doesn't even have to ask for it or force people to respect him. He only needs to enter a room for others to recognize that he is a man of dignity. A good man doesn't allow people to disrespect him and can't be bullied. In contrast, the nice guy is so weak that he allows himself to be a doormat for others, believing that this is the only way to win their love and respect. If the nice guy does engage in fighting back, he does so in a passive-aggressive manner, which only serves to highlight how confused and how conflicted the nice guy really is. Number 5, honorable versus dishonorable. A good man is one who keeps his word because he values it highly. He doesn't make promises he can't keep, but when he does make a commitment, he keeps his word and makes an effort to fulfill it. He stands up for what is right, while avoiding the things that are wrong. People are drawn to him even more because of his commitment to integrity and trust. He does not flee or hide when things get difficult. The good man is not a quitter. Thus, he seeks ways to address the problems even when they seem insurmountable. The nice guy, on the other hand, does the exact opposite. Because he lives by the maxim that promises are made to be broken. He makes commitments he knows he cannot maintain. He's viewed as being flaky and so not trustworthy since he says one thing while doing another. As a result, his word is not believed. He flees when the heat is too much for him because he abides by the notion that quitting is always an option. Number 6, transparent versus secretive. The good man and his genuine character traits radiate through his transparency because he is honorable. A good man has nothing to hide. Since he feels at ease with who he is, he never feels the need to conceal his genuine intentions. The nice guy puts on a facade to hide who he really is because he worries that if others knew the real him, they wouldn't like him. His intentions are unclear. He rarely behaves in a straightforward manner, which makes it challenging for people to believe him. Number 7, accountable versus unaccountable. The good man sees everything as a learning opportunity and loves to improve himself because he knows that when he stops learning, he stops living. Because pride is not a word that belongs in the vocabulary of a good man. When he makes a mistake, he accepts responsibility and is ready to apologize. He knows that his present and future success are in his hands, regardless of what life may throw at him. Therefore, he doesn't offer excuses or place the blame on other people or external factors when his aspirations and goals aren't realized. The nice guy, on the other hand, is arrogant. He has no interest in growing or learning. Any criticism of him will only make him enraged and resentful because he's so outwardly conscious versus inwardly aware. He is quick to point the finger at others and place the blame there rather than on himself for his mistakes or lack of achievement in life. When things go wrong, he always sees himself as a victim, which only serves to reinforce his belief that life is out to harm him.
Number 8. Forthright versus dishonest.
A good man will tell people, including women, what they need to hear, even if it cost him the relationship. He speaks the truth out of love, not out of anger, bitterness, or callousness. A nice guy will always say what people and women want to hear for fear of losing them. Women naturally desire qualities in men that are seen as extremely seductive, such as those that define a good man. And anyone can easily come to the conclusion that a good man is therefore a hot man. You know, women love the hot men. So then therefore, the nice guy just simply has to be the good man. But it's easier said than done, because the nice guy would most likely experience no change in his life despite inexplicably expecting a different outcome. If he is too at ease in his daily routine or too afraid to let go of those attributes, the nice guy will not achieve any success if he stays in the same situation. The mind is where the change occurs. The nice guy has to come to a point where he says, enough, I want the better life, and the wonderful transformation starts within me. So if you're a nice guy, all is not lost. You are not hopeless. You don't even realize how extraordinary you actually really are. You just don't know it yet.